He just really wanted to care for people.
Now at 7, making coronavirus victims more than just a number. How a titan of the healthcare industry in Waukesha is being remembered.
And then there were 2. The search for Milwaukee's next police chief narrows. I'm Andy Devine. I'll have all the latest.
Plus, we're getting a sneak peek into what the cars of the future will look like.
You're watching the CBS 58 News at 7 on WMLW.
Yeah, it is finally Friday. Hopefully that direct deposit hits your bank account just in time to maybe pay off those Cyber Monday purchases. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Kirkhoff.
And I'm Megan Rice. Yeah, Mike, I don't even want to look at my account right now. You know, it's like, oh, that's free. That's practically free. Oh, that looks free too.
Practically free.
Practically free. Close enough.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, let's take a look at our forecast for the weekend.
Practically free. I love that. You know, it was $100, but it's like $30 now, so it's practically free. Temperatures out there this morning. We're looking ahead to when some of you could see a few snowflakes this weekend and when 50 degrees looks possible next week. All coming up in Ready Weather.
A new Milwaukee police chief has still not been selected. The Fire and Police Commission voted on it last night, but there was a tie between 2 of the 3 candidates. CBS 58's Andy Devine joins us from City Hall this morning to tell us more about what happened. Andy?
A decision was not made last night by the Fire and Police Commission here in Milwaukee to replace the former Chief Alfonso Morales, who was demoted 4 months ago because at last night's meeting there was a tie vote between the top contenders. The 3-3 tie vote was split between former MPD officer and FBI Supervisory Special Agent Hoyt Mahaley and Dallas Police Department Major Malik Aziz, who are the top contenders for the job. The commission will now have to meet again December 10th to vote once again. There's also a pending lawsuit to get former Chief Morales reinstated because his attorney says he was improperly demoted. The chair of the commission wants the commissioners to think more about the candidates before they return to vote again.
Welcome to talk to the candidates, clarify any additional information you might want to get from them.
Milwaukee's acting police chief Michael Brunson's term ends on December 23rd. Reporting here at City Hall, Milwaukee, Andy Devine, CBS 58 News.
And Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett is responding to the vote. He says in a statement that he'd hoped a decision would have been made, but remains optimistic the commissioners will pick the next chief soon.
Now to our continuing coronavirus coverage. Wisconsin's Department of Health Services continues to report scary numbers of daily deaths. In the last 24 hours, 60 more people lost their battle with the virus. That averages out to 46 COVID-19 deaths every day for the last week. DHS also reported more than 4,600 new cases yesterday, while the state's 7-day average of new daily cases has been falling over the last week. The 7-day positivity rate has risen back above 30%.
And COVID-19 has taken the lives of so many people in Wisconsin. More than 320 people have died in the last week alone.
In November, it took an important person in Waukesha County.
A titan of healthcare in Wisconsin, Rexford Ford Titus, former CEO of Pro Healthcare, died from complications of COVID-19 on November 16th. He was an innovative leader in the Waukesha community, spent 42 years with Waukesha Memorial Hospital, starting from the bottom and eventually leading a major expansion throughout the region. Titus served on the board or was chair of numerous foundations and organizations, but some people just knew him as Poppy.
The best memories that I have with our Poppy is whenever we would visit their house during the summer. He loved boating and he loved listening to Jimmy Buffett out on a boat.
When he got to Wisconsin, even though he wasn't born or raised there, he just really loved the community of Waukesha and beyond. He wanted to take that and just really emphasize it.
He accomplished many things in healthcare, but his granddaughters say his proudest professional achievement was Angel's Grace Hospice in Oconomowoc.
He just really wanted to care for people, as we talked about, but especially at your later stages of life, you wanted to make sure that people were feeling welcomed and honored and present.
Titus passed away at Angel's Grace of COVID. His wife, Bobby, had it too. She survived. In his last conversation with his granddaughter, Allie, he was hopeful.
We were on the phone talking about how he was so excited to, not necessarily excited, but he was excited to have gotten COVID so he could not have COVID, so he could see his grandkids again this winter.
but he didn't make it. He did make his mark, though, both on Waukesha and on his grandkids.
I want everyone to live a little bit more like Poppy. He loved life. He loved making connections. He loved just the opportunity to share kindness and hope with other people.
Ford Titus was 74, and we are committed to sharing the personal toll this pandemic is taking on Wisconsin. So if you have a story you'd like to share, let us know.
Vice President Mike Pence is heading to the CDC headquarters in Atlanta today, where he'll learn more about the COVID-19 vaccine progress. The pharmaceutical company Pfizer has said its first doses could be available as early as December 15th. And Moderna's vaccine is also set to roll out this month. The CDC wants healthcare workers and patients in long-term care facilities to be the first to get the vaccine. Pence is the head to the White House Coronavirus Task Force.
As we wait for a vaccine, Governor Tony Evers, says Wisconsin state should be at the top of the list for vaccinations. That's because Evers says we're facing challenges that other states are not. Right now, he's asking the state be prioritized for the first vaccine shipment, while stressing the need to vaccinate people who are at high risk. The governor says he also wants quantities large enough to vaccinate the state's entire healthcare workforce. But health officials say we can't do any of that without funding.
At a minimum, to continue our response for just the first quarter of 2021, we will need an additional $466 million. That estimation includes $10 million for vaccine infrastructure readiness and $2 million for public health awareness and vaccine education programs.
State officials say they don't expect the vaccine to be approved for children just yet. They say more clinical testing must be done first.
Police in Texas rescue dozens of people from a suspected human smuggling operation. The bizarre story leading up to the big bust coming up.